Hey guys, Jengar here. Welcome to the 21st episode of Jabber with Jengar. It's been quite a while since the last episode, so it was about time. We'll talk a little bit in this episode about my last month, why it was so busy both at work and at home. I will talk a little bit about Patreon, why I started on that platform and why I actually stopped promoting it. I will talk a little bit about my squadron, and of course we'll be going into patch 1.87. There's several good things on the agenda for this patch, and hopefully it will make an impact. Of course not everything we want is visible yet, but there is some good things in there. There's a lot of new planes, there is economy changes, there is a removal of certain features, and there is adding of certain features which look quite positive. But we'll be going into that. Let's start at the start. The last 4 or 5 weeks have been very stressful for me. A lot of sick people at work, and thus me working extra a lot. For example, the last 10 days I've worked 9 days and evening shifts and day shifts after each other. It was a crazy month when it comes to that, and that also creates a little bit of stress. Also had some disagreements with my manager, which is not always fun, and managers can always give you the idea that your job is on the line when push comes to shove. And not that that is the case, but they are excellent at giving you that feeling sometimes. That is crappy. On the side of that we have my son, who is a little bit behind on the speech development due to his sugar. His body was fighting sugar for 6 months, and because of that he is behind with speaking, and we are looking at finding him a logopedist. That's what they call it in Dutch. It's somebody who can help him with speech development, giving him exercises, and well, it's a specialist, so let's hope that works a little bit. For the rest, he is 4 days in well, I don't know how you call that. We call it peuter in Dutch, but toddler, I think it's toddler school, and he's been doing quite well there, getting more sociable and also making more sound. So we'll see how that develops with him, and hopefully he'll pick it up, and everything will be cool. But I cannot deny that that also creates some stress here and there, and I cannot spend enough time with him, let's say. So I've also chosen to do that here and there instead of finishing a video. As you can imagine, that's way more important, right? Yeah, so that's why I haven't made that many videos. I'll be getting back into it starting yesterday. I want to get back onto speed and getting my skills honed a little bit again before the next patch hit. There's a lot of development blogs out already, so it's definitely coming soon. I believe there's already been one a dev server, if I saw some of the other guys making some videos and I saw that correctly. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. Patreon, we started Patreon in December, and the first 2 weeks were quite cool with 7 people coming in and supporting me that way. And that is when the ban hammer hit on Patreon, and they started banning several political commentators, some of which I also watched, but I watch quite a diverse, I'm actually quite diverse in my political stance on certain things, but you can call me slightly on the right, in the center maybe. But I really dislike any limiting of freedom of speech. Actually, disliking is an understatement. I despise limitations on freedom of speech. Freedom of speech, I think, is the most important thing we have, and in the debating arena we can share ideas, and the best ideas will win. And if you're a Nazi and you are sharing your idea with me, I can easily discard your idea with arguments. So even a Nazi, in my frame of mind, should be able to express an opinion. Who cares if the opinion is bad, if the opinion is very easily discussed with? I mean, if you don't allow people a voice and you censor them, they are gonna go into the dark corners of this world, and you cannot convince them of anything because you don't speak to them anymore. So no matter how despicable the opinion, I think it should be free to be expressed. And Patreon started to ban certain people from their platform because they did not express the right political opinion. And at the moment we start to ban people from the marketplace of ideas, which is the internet these days, then we are on the wrong path as the Western world, which has always been free. And so I actually gotten quite a bit taste in my mouth of that from Patreon, and they've been doing it a little bit more often with a little bit more people, and that's why I have not been promoting Patreon anymore, and I'm probably eventually gonna leave the platform, but not yet. And I am trying to because I am really grateful for the people who did support me on there for supporting me, so I don't want to, you know, seem unthankful or anything. But I'm looking at several alternatives. YouTube has started a membership. That might be something for people to support me more easily on YouTube itself. And there's also a collaboration between YouTube and Teespring for coffee mugs and t-shirts and stuff like that. A platform to sell stuff to you guys, which is also a way to support a creator, of course. And you actually get something back, you get an item back. So that might actually be much more interesting. I also been looking at PayPal. That's quite easy to set up. I haven't done it yet though, but I might do that as well. So yeah, there's my reasons for not continuing to support Patreon by getting more of you guys on there to support me. I really dislike what they did, and yeah, I think it's too late for that for me to change my opinion on them. But anyway, there are plenty of alternatives, and we'll be looking at that in the near future. My squadron, I wanted to mention it. We're in a really good place right now. We have a new sergeant corps, and who will, you know, make the activity higher. We will be trying to look at expanding the squadron again. We have quite a few places free. We cleaned up the squadron a little bit. And yeah, we want only the active people to be left there, and that's what we are going to try to build, one of the more active squadrons in the game. I have been busy and I will be busy, but there is a good segment of sergeants now that want to get their hands on this stuff, and we'll be doing that in the near future. So if you are an active pilot that wants to join an active squadron with the intention to become even more active, then NMY, Enemy Unrivaled, that's our name, is your place to go. If you look us up, it is NMY the tag. You can look that up in the squadron searcher, or you can put in Unrivaled. Both will make you find our squadron. Apply there, and we'll see if we can contact you on short notice, and we'll get you in there. So yeah, you're free to come, and yeah, there are a few requirements to it, but they're nothing too steep, nothing too crazy. But we do want people who at least slightly know what they're doing and who are willing to be active on Discord, in the voice channels, and be an active part of a squadron. So if you want that, then you are welcome to apply. Now the patch will be coming pretty soon, patch 1.87. They have announced economy changes, which is one of the most important things. I've been talking about that in some of my videos. I have also been talking about that with Tech in our collaborations. Economy changes are vital because the current business model of Gaijin is quite the short-term business model, and it is not a very constructive model, I think, for longevity and player retention. You want a long-term plan where you bind people to your game for the long term, making the grind not too hard, challenging maybe, but not terrible and very steep. You want people to unlock things, you want them to get a connection with the game, and when they have that over the long term, you will make more money from a player than what they do now, which is getting as much money from a player in the short term. That's not what you want. You want people to spend money because they love the game and they want a certain premium, or they want some extra time, or they want premium time, or whatever. You don't want them to to be forced to play to buy premium time, because then they buy something in the negative. So yeah, I've been expressing those ideas for a while now, and these economy changes to the jet planes, Silver Lions, will definitely help to you know, reduce the costs a little bit, and they are also planning to reduce the prices on many tier 4 and other tier 5 planes, others from the ones that were announced now. So that is very promising, and that is actually one of the more promising features. There are, of course, also a lot of planes coming in. I saw devlogs already of the SM-92. The SM-91 was fantastic, so I'm looking forward to that plane. The MiG-19S, very nice, of course, for the Germans. We've got a Seahawk coming in. We've got a Japanese T2K, which will be the fastest supersonic jet so far. In the next patch, you have that big American float plane, and you have the Japanese premium, the F-40. So there's a lot of stuff mentioned already. That looks good, but again, the economy changes are much more important than these new planes. These new planes won't bring anything new to the game, but the economy changes definitely will help to reduce the feel, the grindy feel of the game, and hopefully it will bind players longer to the game, getting Gaijin the long-term client that they want, and getting us a bigger player base in the long run. So that is very good. I also heard about the removal of the injured pilot feature. Now, I didn't actually notice it yet myself, because I haven't played so much yet, but the removal of the injured pilot feature, I dedicated a whole episode of War Thunder Meta on that when I discovered it. Absolutely terrible feature, where once you get your pilot hit, you're basically done, because the plane drops 25 to 50% in performance. Absolutely ridiculous feature for a game. It might be realistic, but it's not very gamey. You're done when you get hit by an A gun, for example, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I hated the feature, and they removed it. So they actually seem to be listening again, which is good with the economy changes. And of course, I don't know how many people mentioned that, but Tech and me, we talked about it quite extensively, and if they're actually listening, then that is fantastic. And the removal of the injured pilot feature is also something I really wished for, so I'm happy that they implemented that, and them listening on several fronts gives me some hope. Absolutely. They also introduced radar. I saw a nice dev blog on that as well, which looks very interesting, and I'm definitely looking forward to that. I hope that will also include the planes with the radar systems on their nose, especially the heavy fighters. That might actually be very, very nice in night matches and in matches with cloud cover and stuff like that. So the radar feature will be very interesting indeed, and I'm looking forward to that. So all in all, I am quite excited for the next patch. Of course, I am still waiting for the much needed changes to the maps and the RB game mode. I'm still hoping that in that sense they will also listen to some of the ideas that me and Tag have thrown out there, and I'm certain other people have done so as well. You know, making maps a little bit more unique, bringing in some more victory conditions, maybe changing the lineup system in RB, one of the only game modes without a lineup. Maybe a 3-plane or a 2-plane lineup could make Air RB more interesting, with more features on the map and different wind conditions. That would revitalize the mode, I think, and that the mode really needs that. But I've been talking about that in several other separate videos, so I won't go into all the details here, but I definitely hope they will look at that in upcoming patches, because just keep adding planes and stuff, well, it you know, it keeps us busy in the short term, but in the long term it's not very beneficial. They need to revitalize the game mode, and I definitely hope they will give that a serious look. But all in all, I'm quite excited for patch 1.87, and looking forward to what else it has to offer. It will probably launch soon as well. There will probably be another dev server somewhere this weekend, I imagine. and then maybe it will come out next week even, who knows. We will see it all happening, and we will be there to review the planes and to see what they got. Absolutely. So that's it, a little bit from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button, become part of this community. If you are already a subscriber, don't forget to like the video, do leave me a comment, and if you really feel like helping out today, make sure to share the video with your friends and let them know about the channel.